This Warlock build is insane. It blinds everything, jolts enemies, produces a ton of ionic traces, a ton of orbs, and has survivability. Before I get into the build, guys, I just want to say thank you for all the support I've been getting lately. It really means a lot to me. And if you guys wouldn't mind, please consider hitting the like button and subscribing. Now, let's go ahead and get into the build. I just want to say before we really get into this as well, you can take this build into in-game level activities. The footage in the background is from an 1830 Legend Lost sector, and it's not even Arc Surge. The Surge was Solar and Strand. I really believe in making builds that can be easily used in in-game activities because that's what I enjoyed doing. This build revolves around the electrostatic mind aspect, which creates an ionic trace every time we defeat an enemy with arc abilities, defeating jolted targets, or defeating blinded targets. Ionic traces are those little arc bolts on the ground that you see traveling to you. They grant additional ability energy and they make you amplified. Amplified increases your movement speed and grants more ionic traces via rapid arc damage final blows. For our second aspect, we are running the Arc Soul, which grants a turret that fires independently. While you are amplified, the Arc Soul is supercharged, allowing it to shoot faster and more often. These two aspects really work hand in hand with each other. Electrostatic Mind just creates ionic traces with arc abilities, and arc abilities include the Arc Soul. So any kills the Arc Soul is getting essentially regenerates itself because you can get your Rift back faster. Once you get your Rift back, you lay it, and then you have another Arc Soul. So you kind of feel like a superconductor of arc energy with these two aspects running together. It's really cool. For our exotic armor, we are going to be running the Fallen Sunstar exotic helmet, which makes your ionic traces travel to you faster, and they grant even more ability energy to you. So it's really nice synergy here. There's also a bit of team support with this exotic helmet, because when you collect an ionic trace, any allies that are nearby to you are going to gain ability energy themselves, even if they don't collect an ionic trace. Now, here's where the blinding comes into play. We are of course running the Flashbang Grenade, which blinds enemies and disorients them. This blinding effect also stuns unstoppable champions. We are going to be pairing this with the Spark of Shock, which makes our arc grenades jolt targets. Jolt is a debuff that makes the jolted enemy take additional damage and chain lightning to nearby enemies. So now our blinding grenade is blinding and disorienting enemies, jolting them, and it can stun both unstoppable and overload champions. Crazy. You've got to remember, guys, Electrostatic Mind is also creating ionic traces every time we defeat a jolted or a blinded target. So this grenade setup can really produce a ton of ionic traces. We are of course running Spark of Brilliance, which creates a blinding explosion every time you kill a blinded enemy with precision damage. This blinding explosion spreads the blinding debuff to nearby enemies. And of course, when we defeat blinded enemies, we are creating an ionic trace, thanks to the Electrostatic Mind. We are also running Spark of Amplitude to create more orbs while we are amplified, and Spark of Feedback to increase our melee damage and overall resilience. For mods, I do recommend a couple, but this isn't a crazy build with mods. There's only a couple key mods. The first one is I do run a double elemental charge, which it can give us a chance to generate an armor charge every time we collect an ionic trace, which we're collecting a ton of them. I do run double utility kickstart, so you can keep that rift up constantly, and that's going to play into our armor charges. Charged up is also nice because you can just hold another armor charge, giving you more rift energy when you lay it down. For weapons, guys, I do recommend a weapon with the perk Volt Shot. In the background gameplay, I am using a tarnished metal scout rifle with Demolitionist and Volt Shot. Demolitionist just grants me that extra grenade energy on kills, which synergizes well with this build, and Volt Shot allows me to jolt the next target I shoot after I defeat an enemy and reload. I could not recommend Volt Shot enough with this build, guys. Additionally, I am running the Chaos Reach Super. You could run Storm Trance if you want, and I am running the Ball Lightning. Again, you could run the other melee ability if you want to. I do recommend Healing Rift. Empowering Rift is not bad, but you're going to be doing extra damage with that Arc Buddy anyways, and why not have the survivability that is offered by the Healing Rift. For stats, I do recommend 100 Resilience with any PVE in-game activity. You always want 100 Resilience and high recovery, as high as you can get your recovery. But guys, that's going to wrap up the video. I really hope you enjoyed the video. I am going to link the DEM link is going to be in the description of this video, so go check that out if you're interested in this build. Guys, leave me a comment. Let me know what you think of the Stormcaller Warlock. Guys, please consider subscribing as it helps me out tremendously, and make sure to have a great day. I'll see you in the next one.